Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Guman-Singh. Topping our newscast, the territory is recording yet another murder for the year. A St. Croix man was gunned down outside his residence Monday morning, and it makes the territory's 7th killing for the year. News 2's Erica Parsons has the story.
You know what's really devastating is not just that another mother has lost a son, but that this shooting happened across the street from an elementary school that had just broken for lunch. The gates are open now, but Eulalie Rivera Elementary School was locked down earlier in the day after a nearby daylight shooting that took the life of a 37-year-old man. Police have now identified the victim as Mustafa Williams, who lived at the home in Grove where his body was discovered. Police aren't disclosing too many details, only saying that the 911 call of shots fired came in around 11:45 a.m. Police say when they responded to the home, Williams was lying on the ground outside, shot multiple times, and unresponsive. EMTs later pronounced the victim dead. Dozens of police responded to the scene, and there were just about the same number of onlookers upset about the incident, though none wanted to be photographed. Bystanders who were present said they heard a loud boom, but it was repetitive, a sound that shattered the usually quiet neighborhood. Administrators at Eulalie Rivera wouldn't appear on camera, but said they followed school policy to ensure the students were safe. The school was placed on lockdown for several hours, and there was police presence on campus. Teachers kept students contained in classrooms, and monitors walked the students wherever they had to go. It was reassuring for one lawmaker who has repeatedly expressed concern about the growing number of homicides.
I was relieved to see that the school monitor had full control of the front gate area, and there was a police presence on the campus already, and they too had already implemented the proper security protocol to safeguard our students. These senseless incidents occurring so close to what we as a community consider being safe havens for our children are indeed troubling.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
Police say they're continuing to follow every lead. They're urging anyone with information about Monday's shooting to contact detectives or Crime Stoppers. Police are also investigating a shooting around 3:15 a.m. Friday on Comprinton's Gras in the area of Club 75. The victim, Keith Johnson, was found sitting in a puddle of blood, and he told police he'd left the club making his way downstairs and may have provoked an unknown black male who pulled out a gun. The victim took off running, heard a shot, and minutes later felt a burning sensation on his right side. According to police reports, a witness on the scene contacted the police and ambulance. Officers are also investigating the early afternoon shooting of 2 individuals in Estate Contant on Friday. According to preliminary reports, the pair were about to park their vehicle when a 4-door sedan pulled up in front of them in the vicinity of Chinaman Hill. The passenger of the vehicle stepped out, opened fire on the couple, got back into the sedan, and drove off. One victim sustained a gunshot wound to the left thigh, and the other sustained gunshot wounds to the right forehead, left chest, buttocks, and center back. The 2 were rushed to the hospital and were unable to give descriptions. The U.S. Marshals Service is searching for Joa Shalari, a 19-year-old black male who goes by the street name of Bala. They say he is wanted on first-degree murder charges stemming from an incident in Virginia on November 2nd, 2014. Charlie allegedly shot a young female at a hotel in Richmond, according to police. Contact the Major Crimes Unit if you see him at 340-642-8449, 911, or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477. Remember, if your information leads to his capture, you will receive a cash reward and will remain anonymous. On Friday, February 6, Keith Roy Shiddick told police he was on his way to work in the vicinity of the waterfront area of Banco Popular, where he was assaulted by a former girlfriend, Anika Daniel, and an unknown male. According to the report, the male suspect punched him in the face, and as he fell to the ground, Ms. Daniel began to assault him with a machete. The victim was able to flee and ran as the 2 pursued him in a Jeep. 2 bystanders intervened and phoned an ambulance for Chittick, who sustained a deep lacerations to his left arm. Meanwhile, as part of its effort to stem criminal activity in the territory, the VI Police Department is re-energizing a current law that seeks to regulate the presence of minors in the streets in the late hours. What does the Youth Curfew Initiative mean for young people and their guardians? News2's April Knight has the details.
The Virgin Islands Police Department is putting more emphasis on an existing curfew law that affects young people, and police say this time they're playing strictly by the book. A provision in Title 14 of the VI Code says minors younger than 16 are not allowed on the streets without a legally responsible adult after 10 p.m. Violators will be taken into the custody of the police, who will call the minors' parents or guardians. The minors will not be released unless picked up by a parent or guardian. The curfew initiative will also monitor young people's activities outdoors, especially those who are gathering in groups from 5 p.m. to 1 in the morning. There are specific public areas or hotspots that police will be closely monitoring. On St. Croix, it's Christiansted, Frederiksted, Sunny Isle, and Sunshine Mall. On St. Thomas, it's Barbell Plaza in town, Four Winds up in country, and Red Hook in the East End. Recent crimes in the territory have had suspects who are minors, including the Sunny Isle robbery on St. Croix and Imperial robbery last year on St. Thomas. The curfew initiative will also be cracking down on enforcement in bars, clubs, and businesses that sell liquor, making sure they do not serve minors. Under the VI Code, parents of unsupervised minors can also be charged with neglect of parental duty that can lead to a $500 fine and/or 1 year in prison. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
The Youth Curfew Initiative began on St. Croix last week and is scheduled to be enforced on St. Thomas this week. In other news, members of the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture and Planning, chaired by Senator Jeanette Millen-Young, had the opportunity on Saturday to board the Quantum of the Seas cruise ship for discussions with the ship's crew and WICO officials. They discussed concerns of the passengers and the expansion of the WICO dock, among other topics. Joseph Bishelti, president of WICO, explained that the Virgin Islands can only host the smaller cruise ships along with at least one of the larger cruise ship lines per day. He said WICO anticipates losing ships next year because the dock is unable to accommodate larger ships. However, the goal, he says, is to finish this season with 2.1 million cruise ship passengers this year.
All around the world, everyone is developing the cruise ship industry. And so we already have it. We have invested millions upon millions of dollars in it. So before we let it, escape from us, let us see what we can do to retain it. If that is what it takes, maybe we need to explore that. But certainly we cannot explore it without exploring the product development.
Friends of Mandal, an organization that opposes the multi-million-dollar hotel development currently being planned for Mandal Bay, continues to rally community support. On Sunday, some 100 people flocked to Mandal Bay Beach to learn about the value of Mandal and how the development could destroy what many consider a very delicate ecosystem in Mandal. They also signed up for various committees that could help in their fight against the new development. For more information, you can visit www.savemandalbay.com. And turning our attention overseas, German Chancellor Angela Merkel sat down with President Obama in the Oval Office. The two leaders are working to get on the same page about the crisis in Ukraine. Merkel's visit follows a week of negotiations with Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko and Russian President Vladimir Putin to try and end the violence in eastern Ukraine. The U.S. and European Union had already put sanctions on Russia for backing separatist rebel fighting Ukrainian troops. Merkel will head back to Russia this week for a peace summit set to begin in Minsk Wednesday, and with Russia and Ukraine in attendance. The U.S. will not be a part of those negotiations. Keeping our eye on the economy, a warning for drivers: wireless technology in cars has left nearly all new cars on the road vulnerable to hacking. 60 Minutes got a first-hand look at the potential for a digital attack on drivers. Hackers can track where they've been and could even take control of a vehicle. A report out today by Senator Edward Markey of Massachusetts will shed more light on the issue. Here's the New York Stock Exchange with the stock market watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all down. The Dow 95, Nasdaq 18, S&P 8. Coming up on News 2, as we continue to recognize Black History Month, here's a quiz. Who was the speaker at the VI 2013 Man Up Conference. And at the age of 33, he became the youngest physician to ever head a major division at Johns Hopkins. The answer coming up next. Time for a moment in Black history, honoring neurosurgeon Dr. Benjamin Solomon Carson Sr. He was born in the inner city of Detroit, Michigan, and raised in a single-parent home. Living in poverty, poor grades, and low self-esteem were challenges, but then became driving forces. He graduated high school with honors, obtained a degree from Yale with a degree in psychology, then moved on to medical school at the University of Michigan. It was then Dr. Carson realized that he had an interest in neurosurgery, and at age 33, he became the youngest physician to ever head a major division at Johns Hopkins. Carson was a speaker at the 2013 Man Up Conference, which kicks off tomorrow. Senator Kenneth Gittens is calling for public education before a major traffic change takes place in Frederiksted. A new law making parts of Strand Street one-way street was signed into law by former Governor John DeYoung at the end of last year. Gittens has contacted heads of both Public Works and the police department to help.
This bill came to the Senate after a breakdown in communication between the departments. Now that it has been made law, we need to ensure that the agencies open the lines of communication and conduct public notification and education for the knowledge and safety of our motoring public. Because of this change, our public information strategy must be aggressive to avoid congestion in the area.
You may have noticed the Port Authority is installing speed bumps along designated areas within the Cyril E. King Airport. The speed bumps, they say, will provide pedestrians with additional safety while crossing the street to and from the airport parking lot and the terminal. The project began today and continues through Thursday, February 12th, during the evening hours. Director Carlton Dow asked the public to be mindful of the speed bumps and construction and is thanking the public for the support as they continue to improve the facilities. St. Croix Animal Welfare Center is grateful for a donation they received on Sunday. Management staff and volunteers were present for the $2,500 gift they received from the proceeds of last year's St. Patrick's Day activities.
Whatever we raise over the cost of the parade, we try to give away to another nonprofit to help the community. Last year we picked the animal shelter because they were, we saw that they were in real dire need.
We are so proud to be part of the community that gives like this community does. It's unbelievable. Even in tough economic times as we've had these past few years, the community has really pulled together. It really is heartwarming to see the giving and support, not only monetarily, but also from volunteers.
We want to encourage all of you to come out and adopt a pet, volunteer your time, become a foster. There's so many puppies that need good homes. And please, everybody remember, spade and neuter your pets.
What a great donation there. Now, the sun was gleaming, the water crystal clear, and the breeze refreshing. It was the perfect setting for the annual Mardi Croix parade on Cane Bay Beach, sponsored by the Crew de Croix. This annual event brings locals and tourists to the North Shore for a day of music, fun, and frolicking. Thousands turned out for the Under the Sea theme. The parade featured plenty of royalty, colorful, imaginative costumes, and plenty of dancing in the streets. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.